Once again, it's my great privilege, pleasure and honor to be with all of you once again for our Facebook Live session. I missed all of you for 2 weeks and I feel so delighted and glad to be with each one of you once again for our regular Facebook Live session. I hope to do one more next week, but next week we will not do a Facebook Live. Instead, will be a YouTube Live session, and looking forward to seeing all of you there for our YouTube Live session as well. And to be very honest, it's such an amazing privilege to be able to offer some service to all of you from my side by sharing some of my thoughts, experiences, some elements, some principles, wisdom that I have received, I have learned with all of you in a way that we can have a very life-changing, a life-transforming experience, in a way that we can lead a life of depth and meaning. So thank you all very much for being such an incredible support and joining us regularly for these live sessions. I've always believed in one thing: success is not simply dependent on what we do in terms of our hard work and our effort. There's going to be so many factors that are responsible for the success that we achieve in our lives. For instance, I'm just going to come back to you a moment. For instance, when we talk about our success, we are coming across to all of you and bringing this wisdom through these videos, through these live sessions, and we are able to do a little tiny bit to help the world in whatever way we can. But the success of this endeavor is not merely dependent on what I do. There's so many people behind the scenes who are filming, who are editing, who are relaying these live sessions, who are managing the show. And they are responsible, these individuals are responsible for whatever little success we have in coming across to you. My guru and all the other monks in the monastery, my fellow colleagues who have been supporting me in this endeavor, their support is also responsible for the success, the tiny success that we may get in trying to serve. My mother, my sister, my family, who unknown to many people in the world have been supporting me to do what I am doing. So it's so stupid and so absolutely out of place to think that the success is mine. The success is ours. If you guys were not to watch what we were presenting, there was no way that we would be able to achieve success in our efforts to serve all of you. So you guys, by every like, every share, every comment, by tuning in to these live sessions, are truly making this endeavor to spread the wisdom successful. So yes, indeed, more than just us, there are so many who are responsible for the success that we have, and the hallmark of a gentleman, the hallmark of an evolved human being is gratitude to all of those people, to all of those factors that have been responsible for his or her success. This evening I'm going to present to you a beautiful Sanskrit text that I read, which delineates and points out 8 elements of a family that are responsible for our success. What are those 8 elements? What are those 8 family members who are responsible for the success that we get in whatever area of life that we want to be successful in? So stay on with us to listen to these 8 family members, these 8 key elements, these 8 key principles which will truly bring us to be successful in whatever we do in our lives. I'm very grateful to all of you for joining. Neha, thank you very much for joining. Deep, very glad you're with us here this evening. Umesh, thank you so much for being with us. Abhishek, Gaurav, Binta, very glad that you're with us. Raghav, Nitin, Suman, thank you for sparing your evening and being with us for this Facebook Live session. Amit, Asha, Rupa, very glad that you've taken your time out to join us. Ashwini, thank you very much. And yes, we're going to say some Sanskrit words in a Sanskrit text this evening because it's such a beautiful verse that this verse will truly bring up those 8 family members that are responsible and that are necessary for our success. Suvarna, Vibhor, Veena, Donna, Avinash, Arzu, Deepak and Klayaz, all the way from Zimbabwe. Thank you for joining all the way from Zimbabwe. Thank you very much for being with us, and stay tuned as we discuss about the 8 family members required for our success. Now, all of you who saw the Bollywood Hindi movie Dangal know very well that it was based on a real story of a gentleman, Mahavir Phogat, who wanted to make his daughters, Geeta and Babita, into top-level wrestlers who could participate in international championships. Now, anybody who's seen the movie or anybody who's read the story of Mahavir Singh and Geeta and Babita know very well that it was the father who was responsible for the success of these 2 girls. It was the father who trained them. It was the father who motivated them. It was the father who supported them. It was the father who was behind them. It was the father who was inspiring them to reach the success that they dreamt of in the arena of wrestling. And many of us can say that we have had amazing fathers who supported us in their own ways to reach where we are today. Like in my particular case, I had an amazing father as well who was extremely supportive and always behind me to support me to reach where I wanted to reach. So yes, there has been that element of a father who's been the support, father in the family who's been the support to achieve success in our lives. We definitely have father as a person. But the Sanskrit verse that I'm going to talk about also talks about father as a virtue. Yes, we have a father in the form of a person, but we also need this father in the form of a virtue. This Sanskrit text begins by saying, dhairyaṃ yasya pitā. Who should be our pitā in our life? Dhairyaṃ yasya pitā. We should have patience acting as our supporting father. Just as our personal father supports us to be successful, this virtue called as patience, dhairya, can be our father who supports us to reach the success that we want to reach. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no question of achieving success in any area of our life unless we have this father, dhairya, patience, supporting us to reach there. We all want to be an overnight success. All youngsters want to be an overnight success. People come to me and say, I want to be an overnight internet sensation. Is it peanuts? People want to become a cinema star, cinema actress, a cricketer, a singer. People want to be a professional businessman. And they all want to be an overnight success in a night. Nobody becomes an overnight success. It takes thousands and thousands of sleepless nights and patiently waiting. Sleepless nights and hard work and patiently waiting to become an overnight success. You want to reduce your weight? Patience and hard work. You want to gain weight and biceps and muscle? Patience and hard work. You want to be an academic success? Patience and hard work in the form of study. You want to be a professional genius? Patience and hard work in the right direction. You want to have amazing relationships with your spouses, with your boyfriends, with your girlfriends, with your parents, with your siblings, with your friends, with your social circles. Patience and hard work. You want to achieve spiritual enlightenment? Patience and hard work. The first family member that this Sanskrit text emphasizes on to achieve success, whatever the area may be, is a father. And this father is dhairya or patience. Dhairyam yasya pitā, first family member, father, patience. Now all of us, of course, when we talk about a father, we also talk about a mother. And sometimes the opinions can be quite contradictory, you know. Like a little girl came to her dad and said, Dad, where do we guys come from? The father said, well, darling, we come from monkeys. The girl said, really? How? The father said, because Darwin said so. The girl went to her mother and said, "Mom, where we guys come from?" The mother said, "Well, darling, we come from God." The little one was a little confused. She said to the mother, "Mom, Dad says we come from monkeys. You say we come from God. Who's right?" The mother said, "Both are right, darling. Your dad's side comes from monkeys. My side comes from God." Now the fact of the matter is, all jokes apart, we have a mom and a dad at home who've been supporting us to achieve the success that we want. You have a Mahavir Phogat, the father behind Gita and Babita Phogat. And then you have a lady, a mother, who was the genius supporter behind Thomas Edison. You may have seen the video that we made on Thomas Edison, that when he was thrown out of school and the letter that his teachers had sent to the mother saying he's an idiot, the mother had changed saying Thomas is a genius. It was his mother who made Thomas Edison into the genius scientist that he was. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, the second family member that we talk about as a great support to achieve what we want to achieve is a mother. And I can take for myself as well, my mother, some of you saw the video we released a couple of weeks back, an incredible support to me over the years. I lost my father, but she was the one who pulled it all together, giving me the leeway, giving me the liberty, giving me the freedom to do what I'm doing. If she wouldn't give me the freedom, she wouldn't give me that support, I don't think I would be able to do what I was doing for all of you today. So yes, the second family member that's a great support to do what we want to achieve in our lives is our mom, is our mother. And this Sanskrit text talks about another mother. You have a mother in the form of a person who gave us birth, and the Sanskrit text talks about the second mother who is a great support, will be a great support to achieve success. Dhairyaṃ yasya pitā, the father is patience. Kṣamā ca jananī, kṣamā ca jananī, forgiveness is that virtue which acts as our mother, our supportive mother, to bring us the success that we all dream about. I'm sure some of you are kind of scratching your heads and wondering, how can forgiveness, kṣamā, be responsible for our success? Of course, in our relationships. For sure in our relationships. Without forgiveness, there is no question of success in a relationship. And to be honest, in any area of life, there's going to be relationships, working with people to achieve what you want to achieve. You're wanting to go to a gym and build muscle? You're going to have a good relationship with the fitness coach. You want to get academic success? You want to have a good relationship. You're going to have a good relationship with your tutor, with your teacher, with your professor. You want to have a successful journey in your professional career? You need to have good relationships with your colleagues, with your bosses, with your managers. Ladies and gentlemen, success is about interpersonal relationships. And in interpersonal relationships, differences of opinions happen. Heartburns happen. Misunderstandings happen. Mistakes happen. Whether it's a personal relationship or it's a professional relationship, forgiveness is a very important parameter, an element that's required for us to go to the next level of success. In the book Life's Amazing Secrets that I recently wrote, I have put the story in there, you could pick it up and read it, that Aditya Birla, the giant who started the Aditya Birla group, one time one of the men working under him, one of his main men, made a big blunder. And at that point of time, he lost for the company. He made a mistake and the company lost about 10 crore Indian rupees, which is about 1 million pounds, which is approximately about 1.3, 1.4 million dollars in today's currency. That's a lot of money. About 1 million pounds is a lot of money. 10 crore rupees is a lot of money. This gentleman's mistake, the company lost this money. And everybody in the company, the board members, the senior leaders, were thinking that for such a big blunder, Mr. Aditya Birla will throw this guy out of the company. Mr. Aditya Birla called this gentleman in his room. He took a piece of paper, and on the piece of paper he made two columns, divided the paper into two parts by drawing a line, making it into two columns. On the left side of the paper, Mr. Aditya Birla wrote down all the amazing things that this man had done for the company. How he had brought in such amazing financial growth, way more than hundreds of crores of rupees. How this man had been so loyal, so faithful to the Aditya Birla group. How this man had given his heart, his blood, his sweat, his tears, his very life to work for this company and for Mr. Aditya Birla. And he kept listing all the good qualities and all the contributions that this man had made to the Aditya Birla group. On the right side of the line, the second column, he wrote down the blunders and the mistakes this man had made. And the only one major blunder that Aditya Birla could find in this gentleman was this one, where he had lost 10 crore rupees. Mr. Aditya Birla, of course, gave him feedback and corrected him in a way that how he could have avoided this mistake. But at the same time, based on all the amazing things that this gentleman had done, Aditya Birla, to the surprise of most of the other leaders in the group, pardoned this man, forgave this man, whose commitment to the Aditya Birla group not doubled, tripled, quadrupled, but it multiplied 100, 1,000 times more based on the forgiveness that he had received from the owner and the CEO and the owner and the chairman of the company. So even in our personal lives, when we have some issues with someone, it's such an amazing thing to take a piece of paper, divide into two parts, on the left side to write down all those things in favor of that individual, and on the right hand side write down all those things which are against or not in favor of the individual, the blunders, the mistakes, the issues. And when we look at it, we should see that those are the things on the right side should either be dealt with or be pardoned if we want to reach the next level of success in what we do. Of course, forgiveness is a very subtle principle, and when we talk about forgiveness, there are going to be situations in which we are not going to practice forgiveness. For instance, when the principle of forgiveness leads to personal abuse. For instance, when we are talking about national security, we're not going to be talking about forgiveness at that point of time. Of course, in the book Life's Amazing Secrets, I have given details about when to forgive and not to forgive, and we've also given a forgiveness worksheet, and I urge to all of you that you could kindly go through that section on forgiveness, and if possible, fill the forgiveness worksheet, and I'm sure it will help you. So the second family member responsible for our success is the mother. Of course, the mother as a person, but the mother as a virtue, which is forgiveness. Dhairyaṃ yasya pitā, kṣamā ca jananī. Dhairyaṃ yasya pitā, patience is a father. Kṣamā ca jananī, forgiveness can be a mother. And now, the third characteristic feature of who's the third family member responsible for our success. I'm always amused by the Chinese reason for why people wear their wedding ring on the ring finger. Like a lady was wearing her wedding ring on the wrong finger. So her friend said, "Why are you wearing your wedding ring on the wrong finger?" She said, "Well, I'm wearing the wedding ring on my wrong finger to remind myself that I married the wrong guy." Oh, sorry about that, But the Chinese explanation for why married couples wear the wedding ring on the ring finger is this. Like, you can try this as I'm doing the live session. When you're watching, you could probably try this. Like, put these two fingers, your middle finger like this, against each other, the center of it, and then you put the rest of all the fingertips touching each other like this. You see this? Like this, right? And then when you hold it like this, you see when you try to move your thumbs, they part. When you try to move your index finger, they part. When you try to move your pinkies and your little fingers, they part as well. But when you try to move your ring finger, keeping this middle finger in the same position, that as I'm showing you, the ring fingers don't move at all. You can try it, it just doesn't move, right? So the Chinese explanation is, thumbs are like your parents. They will eventually move on. They're not going to live with us forever. The index finger is our siblings, bros and sisters. They're going to move on. They get married. They have their own families. They're going to settle down. The little fingers, pinky is like our children. They will have their life. They go abroad. They study in universities. They get married. They have children. But the ring finger represents the spouse. Forever together. Meant to be. Which is why the Chinese say this is called the ring finger and the wedding ring is meant to be on the ring finger. So obviously the third family member you must have guessed already. The first father, the second mother, the third spouse, wife or husband. A spouse with whom there is such an incredible bonding and a deep connect that they are there to support in the thick and thin. They are there to support in a way that we can achieve the dreams of our lives and achieve success in the area that we want to. Yes, the spouse is a person, as a wife or a husband. Sometimes I say very funnily, that marriage is the day when the guy loses his bachelor's degree and the lady gets her master's degree, So of course, when we talk about the lady getting the master's, it's not the master's out of force, it's the master's degree out of love. And when there is love, there is a willingness from both sides to say, okay, you're my master. I'm going to follow what you say. Whenever there is force, relationships fall apart. Whenever there is love, one voluntarily gives that control to the other person saying, you can control me out of love. That's what love is all about. But that's really what the support is. The support of a meaningful relationship in terms of a spouse. So yes, spouse is a person, wife or a husband. But in this Sanskrit text, the spouse is a virtue as well. Dhairyaṃ yasya pitā, kṣamā ca jananī, śāntiściraṃ gehinī. Dhairyaṃ, patience, father, pitā. Kṣamā, forgiveness, jananī, mother. Shanti, peace, gehinī, specifically wife here, but I'm saying spouse. Shanti, peace, should be our spouse. Peace should be constantly our companion, as our spouse is our companion throughout our lives. Very often I find people coming and telling me, let everything fall in place, then I'll be peaceful. I think that's such a wrong idea. First, be peaceful, and based on that being peaceful, everything will slowly start falling in place. You don't wait for things to fall in place to be peaceful, because things never fall in place. But start cultivating peace within your heart and your mind, in your consciousness, and things will slowly start falling in place. Like one student who was writing his 10th grade exams comes up to me and says, I forget things, I'm so anxious, I've studied, I've revised like 10 times, and all subjects, I'm really great at that, I got such good marks and such good grades in my preliminary examinations, and now in the final examinations, I'm a little anxious, and I've lost peace, I'm worried whether I'll be able to perform well. I said, look, if you're not peaceful, if you're worried, you're anxious, you're stressed, when you go to the examination hall, there's a good chance that you'll forget what you remember. There's a good chance that you'll mess up in your exam by mixing things up. Be peaceful. When you're peaceful, after you've done your bit, you're peaceful, things will fall in place. Don't wait for things to fall in place to be peaceful. First cultivate peace, and then things will fall in place. People who have achieved things in any area of their lives do it with a peaceful mind. If the mind is preoccupied by a million things, If the mind is consumed by stress, worry and anxiety, where is the focus to achieve success in anything? Imagine a student whose mind is not peaceful. How can he or she focus on studies? Imagine a guy going into a gym to work out and is completely not present. His mind is preoccupied with some anxieties. Imagine lifting a dumbbell or a weight in the wrong way and putting it on your foot. Imagine a person working at his office or running a business and is preoccupied by hundreds of anxieties. How is he or she going to be able to focus? Imagine someone who's practicing spirituality, meditating, chanting, but the mind is completely preoccupied and is not peaceful. How is one going to achieve spiritual enlightenment? Ladies and gentlemen, we have to start cultivating peace by focusing on what is in our control and what is beyond our control. Let's not get worked up with things that are beyond our control. If things are beyond our control and we can't change them, we can't change them, and it's okay. Let's be peaceful about it. And therefore, the third family member required to be successful in our endeavors is our spouse. And that spouse, in this particular text, represents peace. Dhairyaṃ yasya pitā, kṣamā jananī, śāntiṃ gehinī. Father, patience; mother, forgiveness; spouse, peace. Stay tuned and be with us to go through the rest of the family members who are required to support us to achieve success in any of our endeavors in our life. Sushma, thank you very much for joining us. Shabnam, very, very happy to have you. Pammy, oh, thank you. You're so kind to say that. I'm just a little person who's trying to serve all of you and share my thoughts with us. Seema, thank you for joining us. Aditya, very glad that you're here. Madhuri, thank you so much for being with us. Jolly, Neha, Ganesh, Dhurvendra, oh, thank you so much for being with us. Deepali, thank you. Ashwini, thank you very much. The question is how to forget. It's not as easy to forget, but that's a whole different discussion. We'll take it up some other day. Usha, thank you very much. Sarat, Meena, Jaimin, Rashmi, Miranda, thank you very, very much for joining us this evening for our Facebook Live session as we discuss the 8 family members based on the Sanskrit text required to support us to achieve success in our endeavors. After the first 3 family members, father, mother and spouse, here are the next 3. Stay tuned and continue watching us as we discuss the next 3 family members. We all of us are well aware that we have a father, we have a mother, a spouse, and then we also need a brother who is very supportive. Imagine when you have rift between brothers. Imagine when you have brothers who are not supportive. Imagine if you have agenda-driven brothers. You want to achieve success, but if you don't have someone to support you, how are you going to reach there? Of course, I've never had a brother. I've had a sister. I still have a sister. But I never had a brother to understand what it means in terms of a brother supporting you. But I've had cousins, brothers, who've been amazing support when I was in university, when I was in school. We had amazing friendship, relationships. Some of those cousins I still well remember. They were older to me, but an amazing support. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we also need a brother who is supportive in our endeavors. In this particular Sanskrit text, the brother is represented by the virtue of truthfulness. Satyaṃ sūnurayaṃ. Satyaṃ sūnurayaṃ. A son. I'm sorry, I just completely mixed up the word. Satyaṃ sūnurayaṃ is a son who is supportive of all the endeavors that we take up. And of course, brother as well. But in this particular text, it's talking about sunu, or a son, or a child who is supportive. And this child, in terms of the virtue, represents truthfulness or satyam. If we want to be successful, if we want people to trust us, and if we want people to trust us, we have to be truthful. Even in our personal relationships. If you're in a relationship with someone, and if you lie, if you cheat, what you lose is trustworthiness. you're completely going to mess up on trustworthiness. If you're married, imagine you go out with someone and have an extramarital affair, cheating behind someone's back. You lose trustworthiness. Imagine you're in a business deal and somebody indulges in a massive financial scam behind your back, the partner whom you're with. That person loses trustworthiness. You want to succeed in any endeavor? Trustworthiness is such an important quality that we need. And we can only be trustworthy if we are truthful. Particularly in our personal and our professional relationships. In our professional relationships, we have to be truthful. In our personal relationships, we have to be truthful. We can't be lying and cheating. There was this one boy who came back home late in the night, like about 1 o'clock in the morning, late night, 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 a.m. And his father was still awake. And the father said, "Where were you?" He said, "Well, I was studying with my friend." The father said, "I've got a lie detecting robo. You have to come and speak in front of the lie detecting robo. If you speak a lie, the robo will slap you." So the guy said, "My father, what nonsense is he talking?" So the son came in front of this robo. The father said, "It's a lie detecting robo." And the father asked him a question, "Where were you?" The son said, "I was with my friend studying," and the lie detecting robo slapped the guy. Oh, the guy said, "God, this works, you know." So the said, sorry, Dad. Actually, I was with my friend, but not studying." The father said, "What were you doing?" He said, "Watching a movie." The robo didn't slap. So the father said, "Which movie were you watching?" The son said, "Ghar ek mandir." The lie detecting robo slapped the fellow. Said, sorry, Dad. Actually, I was watching, you know what, not a very clean movie, an X-rated movie. So the robo didn't slap. The father said, "Idiot, when I was your age, I didn't even know what an X-rated movie meant," and the robo slapped the father. And then the mother came out and said, "After all, whose son is he? Yours, right?" And the lie detecting robo slapped the mother fat on her face. God, believe me, you people can lie and cheat so much and lose their trustworthiness. And if they lose their trustworthiness, there's no question of success in relationships, both personal and professional. Ladies and gentlemen, which is why there is a great need to have this family member support us for success. Our son, satyaṃ, sūnurayaṃ, a son who is going to be supportive for our success, and that son is called truthfulness. Dhairyaṃ asya pitā kṣamā ca jananī śāntiściraṃ gehinī satyaṃ sūnurayaṃ. Who is the fifth family member? Father, patience; mother, forgiveness; spouse, peace; son, truthfulness. Who is the fifth family member who will support us to achieve success? The fifth family member is a sister, an amazing sister. I can tell you from my own example. I have such an amazing, loving sister. When I was away in the monastery, my father was ridden with Parkinson's disease, and I could do whatever little I could do for him. But I know that that point of time, my sister moved from her in-laws' home to my mom's home, and with my mom and grandmother, cared for my father. I feel very bad about it, that I probably wasn't as responsible as I should have been in that phase, and I apologize to them for that. But the fact of the matter is, without the support of my loving sister, who practically put so many of her things aside to come and stay with my mom and my grandmom, to support them, to take care of my father, I don't think I would have been able to do what I am doing today. Which is why I said in the very beginning that you are who you are because of so many. It would be so stupid, arrogant and haughty to think that I am the one who is doing it, right? And in the Sanskrit text, who is the sister? Satyam sūnurayaṃ dayā ca bhaginī. Bhaginī means a sister. And this sister is dayā, or compassion. Sometimes we feel, how can compassion be responsible for our success? Ladies and gentlemen, if we are compassionate to others, we derive from them, we seek from them, we solicit from them positive vibes. Every time you're kind to someone, every time you're compassionate to someone, every time you're good to someone, the only thing that other person does to you is bless you, pray for you, send good wishes for you. And so many people sending this positive energy to you, you're surrounded by an aura of positive energy. And when you're surrounded by an aura of positive energy, you attract positive success to that positive aura of energy. And therefore, compassion towards others is such a crucial element of success. Not many people talk about compassion as a requirement for success. People say work hard, be patient, all of these things people talk about, but not many people talk about being compassionate, kind to others as an element required for success. I know for sure that when you have so many people wishing well for you, you are in an energy that you can do something that you never ever dreamt of, and success is only a few centimeters away then, not miles away, just a few centimeters away. You get the ability to do so much based on the positive vibes that people send to you. And compassion is not just for human beings, compassion is for every living creature. Vegetarianism for me or veganism for me is not about religion. Vegetarianism for me is not about some spiritual stuff. Vegetarianism for me is compassion. Across the globe, people, regardless of which faith they follow, regardless of which nationality they are from, are adopting vegetarianism and even a step ahead veganism to practice compassion towards every living creature, because we don't want the negative vibe even from other living creatures. So this sister, compassion, is going to bring us a lot of positive energy which will be responsible for our success. And what is this? Who is the sixth family member, ladies and gentlemen? We have a father, we have a mother, we have a spouse, we have a son, we have a sister. And who's the sixth one? The sixth one is the brother actually. I had mixed up earlier. The sixth one is the brother, and like I told you earlier, if brothers don't support and if brothers don't have that camaraderie and if brothers are not there for us, how are we going to reach success that we dream about? And therefore, in this particular Sanskrit text, the brother the brother is represented by the virtue, the quality of mind control and self-control. Bhrātā manaḥ-saṃyamaḥ. Bhrātā is brother. Manaḥ-saṃyamaḥ is control over the mind, self-mastery, self-control. You have to tell yourself and tell your mind who is in control. Imagine a student trying to achieve academic success. If the mind takes over and asks the guy to go around doing all kinds of time pass, how is the guy going to succeed? Imagine a professional. If the mind takes over and he starts watching pornography at work where he's not allowed to, and he's caught and action is taken against him, imagine what that guy is going to do. Imagine in a workplace, mind takes over and out of your insecurity and your envy, you sabotage someone's work. I told you the story of Jaimin Patel in Life's Amazing Secret. In fact, Jaimin Patel is in the studio today. As I'm sitting in the studio and filming, my friend Jaimin Patel is also here this evening. It's kind of amazing, that his work is completely sabotaged by the mind taking control of someone. So, should the mind take control and we become slaves to the mind, or we become the master and make the mind our slaves? Let the mind listen to us. We shouldn't be listening to the mind. The more we listen to the mind, we're going to be distracted from what we want to do, and how are we going to be successful? We have to keep the mind in its place by keeping the mind a servant and a slave to us and not making the mind a master to us. Therefore, the sixth relative is bhrātā, manaḥ-saṃyamaḥ. All those who are successful in their respective areas, whether it is spirituality, whether it is relationships, whether it is professional fields, whether it is sports, music, cinema, politics, wherever, people who are truly successful in its true sense are the ones who have manaḥ-saṃyamaḥ, control over their mind, self-control, mastery over their mind. They can direct their mind to where they want to, and they don't get carried away by their mind. And therefore the sixth quality is very, very important, the sixth relative. And therefore the six relatives are dhairyaṃ yasya pitā, kṣamā ca jananī, śāntiṃ gehinī, satyaṃ sūnurayaṃ, dayā bhaginī, bhrātā manaḥ-saṃyamaḥ. Stay tuned as we conclude with the last two members of the family required for our success in our journey. Abhishek, thank you for joining. Saumya, Shami, thank you very much. Rahul, Tripti, Rishu, thank you very much. Manoj, Hare Krishna, Lavanya, thank you for joining us. Facebook live session where we are talking about this evening the 8 family members required to achieve success in our life. Isn't this a beautiful text, ladies and gentlemen? Give us a thumbs up if you think that this is an amazing Sanskrit text which is really delineating those incredible qualities required for our success in the form of an amazing analogy of family members. So once again, thank you all very much for being with us as we conclude our session on the 8 family members required for our success. In fact, the last 2 are not family members, the first 6 are family members, the last 2 are elements of success. The 6th element required for success is detachment. śayyā bhūmitalaṃ diśo'pi vasanaṃ. This particular text says a person who wants to be successful, śayyā bhūmitalaṃ, is willing to sleep on the floor. Diśo'pi vasanaṃ is willing to dress only in the direction which means wear nothing if there's nothing available. This is not to be taken literally, okay? I know that this might sound okay. You might have people tomorrow with wearing nothing going around. So this is not definitely to be taken in the literal sense. śayyā bhūmitalaṃ diśo'pi vasanaṃ. Willing to adjust. Detachment is not about not having. Detachment is about living with satisfaction in whatever situation we are in today. Today we can fly first class on a first class airline. Tomorrow we may have to fly economy. Fine, no problem. Ultimately, our goal, what we want to achieve is important. Today we can eat fancy food. Fine. Tomorrow we may just get simple food because times have changed and we don't have enough. Fine. We have to focus on what our ultimate goal is. Today, we may live in a fancy mansion. Tomorrow, times may change. There may be a financial crisis. We may have to sell this fancy mansion and live in a small, tiny rented apartment. Okay. Those who want to be successful are not focused on external luxuries and comforts. Those who want to be successful are focused on their goal and what we want to achieve. I've always mentioned about Mark Zuckerberg wearing the same colored t-shirt, the same colored trouser. You know, many of these individuals who are successful don't pay that much attention to external. And this verse is talking in a Sanskrit sense. śayyā bhūmitalaṃ, ready to sleep on the floor, wearing whatever clothes come. When we are focused on the goal and not so much on these external parameters, success becomes our right. And the last element, the 8th one that the Sanskrit text talks about is jñānāmṛtaṃ bhojanam. What is the food that we should be eating? Jñānāmṛtaṃ, the food of knowledge. Recently somebody asked me on a radio interview, I think it was Red FM or something, they asked me, what is your favorite food? I said, food for thought. Yes, of course, I have different kinds of foods that are favorite also, but food for thought should be our favorite food. It's called jñānāmṛtaṃ, knowledge. And therefore, people who constantly keep seeking knowledge, refining their knowledge about what they want to do, will certainly reach the success that they want to achieve in any area of life. These 8 are considered to be the family members required for our success in any area of life that we dream to achieve success in. To repeat the entire verse, which is such a beautiful verse, dhairyaṃ yasya pitā, kṣamā ca jananī śāntiṃ gehinī satyaṃ sūnurayaṃ dayā ca bhaginī bhrātā manaḥ-saṃyamaḥ śayyā bhūmitalaṃ diśo'pi vasanaṃ jñānāmṛtaṃ bhojanam ete yasya kuṭumbinaḥ vada sakhē kasmād bhayaṃ yōginaḥ. Father, patience, dhairya. Mother, forgiveness, kṣamā. Spouse, śānti, peace. Son, satya, truthfulness. Sister, dayā, compassion. Brother, manaḥ-saṃyamaḥ, self-control. Clothes, detachment, adjustment. Food, knowledge. And when we have these 8, we can certainly tread the path of success, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to thank you all very, very much for being here. Charles Williams, thank you. Oh, thank you. That wow means a lot. Thank you all very, very much for being with us for a long time, about 46 minutes, to listen to these 8 family members responsible for our success. And of course, the literal family members matter as support. Our father, our mother, our brothers, in the real sense, also matter so much in terms of the support they give for us to be successful in our lives. I wish all of you a great evening ahead if you're from India, and my warm greetings to you from whichever part of the world you are in, based on the particular time zone you are in. And looking forward to seeing all of you next Thursday, 5 o'clock Indian Standard Time, for a YouTube live session instead of a Facebook live session. Thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again.